this is very much an open discussion kind of forum. We're looking for themes that help us identify the sorts of things that are important to brides when they start looking, especially for their wedding dress. So with that, I will leave it to our moderators to begin with the first set of questions. We'll have the first and second set, then a break, the third set, then our note takers will just maybe ask a few clarification questions if they missed something, writing down something, and then you've already taken the survey, so you're that much closer to lunch. So, all right.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. So our first question is, how soon after you got engaged did you begin searching for your dress?
Not Does that mean like with actually going, yes, or like
with intent to buy?
Oh. Yeah, or even if online, if you started looking for ideas.
3 weeks before. No. I think it was 3 days after, just because I had a lot going on. So I'm like, I'm ready. Let's go for it.
I feel like I looked online a lot just to get like ideas of what I wanted, but I didn't go in until I got confused in October and it drove till like Thanksgiving, which was bad because I was getting married like 3 months later, 4 months later. So it was a little close. I wasn't like, for some reason it wasn't high on my priority list. I don't know.
About 2 weeks. Wait, no, I got engaged November 1, and then I went in actually to look over Thanksgiving break too.
I had a dress, but I thought I was going to use it for my dress. And
you guys speak up just a little.
Oh, I had a dress, yeah. And I got it in high school and I thought it was really cool. And I was like, this will be my wedding dress. And then tried it on, just didn't anymore. So I didn't have one. And my wedding was like 20 days coming up. So my mother-in-law had her mother-in-law's dress for like 6 days. And I tried it on for 7 days. So I had a big dress. So I never looked.
Yeah.
But that's not helpful.
It's very helpful. Yeah, it's all helpful.
Well, I just got engaged like a week and a half ago, but we kind of knew that it was coming, and we looked at rings together and we talked about it and everything. And I was helping out with a bridal fair in Moscow, Idaho, because I went to school for event planning and stuff like that. And so I was helping out with this event, and they were like, well, if you book an appointment to do your dress fitting, we'll give you like a really good deal. And they had this like amazing deal, and we just couldn't pass it up. So I actually ended up booking like to go shop for my wedding dress before we even got engaged, which is kind of embarrassing. But so I'm going to look this month, like at the end of this month. But I booked it before. It sounds crazy, but it worked out because it's a crazy good deal. So, yeah.
Well, I got engaged first day of spring break, and so there wasn't a lot of time to waste because we're getting married on the 22nd of June. So I went like that week during spring break.
Thank you. So our second question is, so when you went to go look for your dresses, where did you go for dress ideas?
Pinterest? Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
Definitely. The Knot has an app too, and I looked on there.
So how many of you, raise your hands, went to Pinterest? Okay, all of you.
I had a good friend that got married, gave me like 20 wedding magazines, so I did go through those first. But then yes, Pinterest.
Actually, for me, I would have to say that I looked on Instagram because I follow different like brands of like eyewear, and then I would go on Instagram. So kind of like that and Pinterest.
So, besides wedding magazines and social media, well, besides Pinterest and Instagram,
actually got her wedding dress in Wawa, and so she actually told me I should go look at that store, and so I had booked something there, but they didn't have an opening, so I actually ended up going and getting my dress for that in Tri-Cities. But my mom was giving me advice where she looked, which are all places that are still open, so that was interesting. But yeah, so my mom probably.
Do you have anyone else, like any celebrity influences? Mainly just Pinterest.
So yeah, just like online too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like browsing different websites and then.
Say yes to the dress.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so TV. So which magazines did you look from?
Vanilla. Isn't one just named Bridal?
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, yeah. Those are the two. I like every single. I don't know. That lady stocked up, so it was mostly those two.
I think we're good with that question. You guys get that? Okay. So what stores or online sources did you actually visit during your search process?
Online?
Yeah, online or actual stores.
I went to some boutiques in Reno, but I didn't really find anything that like I was super excited about. It was hard because I'm really small, so the dresses are always like really big on me. And I found one at a store that I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is like definitely a candidate. And then I didn't want to do this. I went to David's Bridal, and I ended up getting my dress from David's Bridal, which I didn't want to do. I was like, I don't want to be that bride. So I was that bride.
It's the most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
It is.
I was
It
like,
really
I
is.
want to go boutique, but it didn't happen. So that worked out, but that's a bummer.
Same thing for me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, just going, I was like, I'm probably not going to find anything, but I mean, I might as well
Yeah.
try
Same.
something on, and then boom.
I
right
walked
there.
in and I was like, this is not gonna work for me. And then
Yeah.
like at the back of the store in some corner, I found a dress and I was like, oh dang, I like it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I only tried on like 5 dresses.
Yeah.
That's it, and then there it was.
Yeah.
So what about David's Bridal? Were you apprehensive about?
It's so cliche. It's just like, you know, there's stereotypical like, you know, just your white like strap. I don't know. I just don't really care for like that stereotypical like white style. I wanted more of like an off-white, like champagne color, so I don't wear white well. And I don't know. They're not very unique, and I kind of wanted something a little bit different. But there was one there in this like, designer section. They have some better options than just the David's Bridal line.
It's kind of like a chain thing. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to be wearing the
Yeah.
same thing as everyone else on your wedding day, so you're gonna avoid it.
Because on their website, you can go and look at the dress, and the customers who have purchased that dress will post
Somebody.
pictures of them.
Yeah.
Like, in their dress, it's like, wait, what? Like, I'm
Yeah.
wearing that same dress? Like, that does not look great. I don't know, yeah.
I think it's your desire to be so unique to your
Yeah.
wedding that overpowers like a good deal sometimes. But
And my thing was, my friend actually got her wedding. I went with her when she got her wedding dress at the Tri-Cities, like David's Bridal, and she had a horrible experience. Like I was upset with the ladies that were working there because they weren't like making her feel special. It was just like throwing on another dress and go help someone else. It's like this is hopefully one time like in your life that it's like special and you're looking for your dress. I felt like she did not get treated right. So I went to like 3 different boutiques over there, and they were grungy and dark, and the lighting was off, so I felt fat in every dress, and it was just, well, I probably was just chubby, but, anyways, but, so, it was kind of like when I got there, it was my 4th store that day, and I was just over it. I walked in, and there was like nobody there. I was like, I'm going to break down and cry if I do not find a dress like today.
And so I actually had, since no one was there, I actually had 3 ladies, like, totally there, being supportive and kind, and yeah, I was looking for a mermaid dress, and my mom found a ball gown. I never even looked at one in my whole life because I thought they were disgusting, and she pulled it off. She said, "This is your dress, like, gross, no, not trying it on." She said, "Yeah, it is." Forced me to try it on. I tried it on. I cried, loved it, wore it, bought it. But yeah, and it was in the designer section, and so it was different than what I've ever seen, and it just happened to work out that way. But I tried the boutiques, but they weren't where it was at.
Yeah, they're kind of grungy.
Yeah,
For
they're
some
kind of
reason, there wasn't like a really nice one, like clean.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was bad.
Yeah.
Locally, there's a nice boutique. She
Yeah.
makes her own dresses. Gloria Halista, and I can't think of the name of it.
Layla.
Layla's, yes. And I went there for I had a dress, but I needed a fitting underneath. And she was really helpful and she's super creative. So, yeah.
You're just going to the wrong one.
I know.
Yeah,
Make
it's
it where
by
you are.
Marcos. It's by Marcos. Yeah, it's local.
Yeah.
She's super cool.
Did anyone else go to like BHLVN?
I looked online, but I didn't go.
I didn't get to go either.
I kind of wanted to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how many of you looked in Walla Walla for your dress?
I'm bummed I didn't go shopping here for my dress first, because I didn't think I was going to find something at David's Bridal, and I was going to go to American House of Brides, where we got all the guys' stuff. And she had, I walked in there later, I was like, oh my word, I totally would have bought this dress. And it was actually a good setting, so I liked it, but that's the only place that I wish I would have gone before David's Bridal, but they didn't have anything.
There's not a lot of options in Walla Walla. It's small. And what was that? Purple Parasol? Yeah.
They moved to Tri-Cities and I went there, and that was one of the places I would never go there. But that's not who we're doing anything for. But,
It wouldn't matter even if it were.
Okay.
Yeah. Feel free to say anything you like.
okay.
When they had their store in Walla Walla, they had the one in the Tri-Cities too, and it's like night and day difference. It's crazy that like in one town it can be so nice, and in another town it can
Yeah.
be so different.
Yeah.
But
That's
why
true.
is it so different? In
Yeah.
the Tri-Cities, it's so different.
Yeah.
I can even consider looking at
Yeah.
I'm local, and I think the only reason that like I wouldn't think of it right away is just because there aren't that many options. So I guess it would be my first spot to start.
So did you guys, did you look online first, an online store?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of knew exactly what I wanted, so kind of went in with a very like intentional thing. But it's kind of funny because I didn't even end up getting exactly what I wanted. I just got something else. So I love it, just the same. But I did look online.
Okay, so what kind of websites did you go to?
Like Pinterest, like for the like more inspiration, and like some most of the dresses I were looking at were like tour dresses, and they were very expensive. So I didn't even consider going on these websites because I was like, wow, these dresses are probably like the price of a car. So I don't know. I didn't really like look on the actual website before buying. I did look on David's Bridal, and I was like, I'm not going to this store.
Oh, I did.
What about you, Megan?
Well, BHLVN, I looked at there a lot.
Yeah.
And just constantly was like, yeah, I can't buy that one, it's way too much money. But I like clicked through Pinterest links and stuff and found things that I could never afford, like Leafy Hot. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her, she's from Israel. Anyway,
All the
beautiful.
Israel.
I wanted to just get on a plane and go. Maybe if I buy it there, it'll be cheaper, I don't know, but yeah, so I looked through some
about the other stores you visited?
Just Googling. Like, my mom went online. Like, I had to find a dress over spring break. Like, that was my own, or not spring break, Thanksgiving break. That was like my only option because I was getting married at spring break. So I didn't have any time, so I couldn't really mess around. So we just like booked appointments everywhere right now, and like went. And that was, you know, you just Google and call, you know, kind of look at the reviews and go for it.
Pretty sure I literally just typed in bridal shop on Google Maps. And then
Yeah.
went to one. It was missing.
So yeah.
That's basically just Google for all of you. Okay. Yeah. You didn't have like any friends who were like, you should really check out this store or anything? Okay. So last question for this set. We kind of already answered this. Where did you end up purchasing your dress? So how many of you purchased from David's Bridal? 3.
We're 20 on a hard level right now.
Okay. And then you got your dress.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you get your dress?
I'm trying to think of the name. It's in Sacramento. It's called like Bride to Be or something like that. It's like a local one.
Okay. And then
I haven't gotten mine yet, but the place we're going to is in Lewiston. So we're going to, but
Is the name of it?
Downtown Chic, I think that's what it's called.
So why did you end up purchasing your dress there? What was the deciding factor in that?
I mean, I liked it, and it like kind of fit what I was going for. It was like ivory on top and champagne underneath, so it was really nice, like soft color. It had nice like applique. It was like the shape I wanted, and I don't know. I was like, this was the last dress I tried on. I had to find one that day, and I liked it a lot. It was like I had one in another shop that I liked, so I can either go back and get that one or get the one at David's Bridal, and I liked it more than the one I showed them at the other place. So.
I wanted to keep my dress under $1,000. Me and my husband decided we didn't want to go to Quebec for our wedding, and so that was one of the major things that like was like, okay, if I have to stay under budget, I know David's Bridal at least has dresses that are in my budget that are really pretty, and so I liked the dress, but then when my dad saw me and he reacted to it, I loved the dress even more, and then it was in my price range until I got my veil, and so it was affordable. I really loved it a lot, so.
So would you say the style and budget you guys as well?
For me, it was definitely like the style and just how he made me feel really good.
I agree with that. Yeah. Put it on and it just felt right.
Yeah.
And it's weird because some of them, it's like they're beautiful dresses, but you don't feel like a bride in them.
Yeah.
And then you put that one on, and when you watch it on say yes, the dress, it's like, come on now, like, it's a dress. And then it happens, like, why is it happening to me? So, it's just weird. Like, I think you know deep down, like, what you want your day to be like, and when you see all those details, like, start coming together because you found, like, the dress that matches everything you've kind of been planning, it kind of just, like,
Yeah.
fits.
A lot of dresses have like things on them that you don't like.
It's
Like,
like,
I really like this dress except for this one part. And there were some dresses I tried on that were strapless, and I was not going for strapless because I don't like strapless on me. And so I like didn't want to add straps because I, you know, kind of looked different. I don't know. Anyway, so I found like a dress that wasn't strapless, had pockets. That was like the #1 selling factor.
How many do you look at?
I know, but I forgot the name, but it's okay.
What
Yeah.
what was the brand?
Bowling, Amy or something.
Yes! It really was. Did you get the book? Did you get that? Oh my gosh, they gave me that. Yeah.
I feel chips.
I'll share it with you.
Does anybody else know?
I know, it's Melissa Sweet.
Yeah, I liked her dress.
There was one I wanted to buy and I didn't have it. I was really excited about it.
I can't even believe I don't know this. But like honestly, because I think that because I love the dress so much, like that part didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't even pay attention.
Yeah.
Because I can't even remember.
The only reason I know is because I looked at it online, so I knew how to like find the dress online. So I wanted to read reviews on it. I don't know why I'm a review person, and I wanted to see pictures of it, and so that's the only reason.
I got a book with the name just like
Yeah.
labeled on it, so that's the only reason I could kind of remember.
But as far as like the dress that I actually was like going for was Berta Bridal. That was like the brand I love for dresses, and so that's I wanted to find a dress like for stuff. And so this dress looked like that, so I didn't care.
So mine was my husband's grandma, and it said Emma on it, which is my name, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah. It was weird. Like I was trying it on and I looked at the tag and I'm like, that's my name. So I was like, I hope this thing fits, 'cause that's like a sign.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Okay. Well, next question. What other wedding dress brands are you aware of?
Euro Lang.
That's another one I've heard on, yeah.
I actually did know about Ole Cassini because I had looked on David's Bridal website and I saw one that was like massively expensive. You know? So and I was like, hey, that's pretty. I'm not buying that.
The thing.
Yeah.
Any other? Brands that you're aware of?
I don't feel like I've ever paid attention to that. As awful as that sounds, like when you see something you like, I don't feel like the brand matters.
Yeah.
You're saying, you know, if you love it, it is what it is.
I like all the really like high couture stuff just because that's what I love. I love fashion, so that's what I pay attention to. I don't care about the little whatever brand. I just, you know. Okay. What are the brands that you really like the most?
I like Oscar de la Renta, R.I.P. But all his stuff's like constant. But he has a really pretty eye. He has pretty eye for fashion. Like, really girly stuff with like the tight waist. And he's my cat, actually.
Cute. Anybody else?
When I was looking for stuff, I would notice names, but it's not like I search just for, the only reason I would search name is because like, oh, I like this dress. Let me see if I can find more like this from them. But yeah, I didn't really care for it that much.
Okay. Okay. Was brand a deciding factor? No. No. Okay. How many of you say no? Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay. So besides brand, what other factors came into account when you were choosing the dress?
Price. Like, I went with my mom and she never said like this is your budget, but I didn't want to take advantage of like how much she was willing to spend. So I like throughout the whole wedding, like she never set a budget, but you know, you just like find the cheapest one possible. Yeah. It didn't really work out, but
You tried.
yeah, I tried. I did.
Anybody else? Other deciding factors?
not even that important, but I feel like if I had that dress on and my whole family's there, goodness, they even brought their dog. I don't even know how that happened. But when my dad walked in, like, and he saw me, like, I think your family, without saying it, like, they have a big influence, but they have an influence on me. So when I tried that as dress, I would never try on. And all my sisters and my mom loved it, and so I don't think I would have found my dress that day unless, like, they would have kind of pushed that on me, which is so weird. I hate that I'm saying that. But, so I think, at least for me, family was a big deciding factor because I hated the dress. So.
I actually went with my mom and my fiance to get a wedding dress, which is apparently what my parents did. So that's cute. But so that like made a difference to me because I know that they are not gonna let me look ugly. So like they were gonna tell me the truth on things, and like I could see it in their eyes. Like even if they're like, oh, that's nice, I could see in their eyes the ones that they really liked, and that helped me because it's kind of overwhelming. It's like there's just a lot of tulle in this tiny little room, and I don't know how to handle it. Like if I don't come out in 5 minutes, I've suffocated underneath a ball gown or something. Come find me. So I agree. Like it makes a difference when you know people that care about you, like can see you in it, honestly.
On top of that, like the sales reps or the associates that were there that were helping me like try on dresses, like they weren't super busy, so there was like people floating around, and they would walk by, that's your dress, like that's so perfect, and I was like, okie like sweet, and, you know, like, and they're really encouraging, and they're like, that looks great on you, because it was huge, and it's really hard to like get an idea of how a dress fits you when it's like 5 sizes too big. And so it was really hard for me to like stand in the mirror and like picture how it would actually look, but like they knew how it should look, and it was better like having their input. I don't know, it's easier to have like 3 or 4 sets of eyes. And
I feel like the sales girls were just like telling me things, and then my family would be like there was one dress and it just was not flattering like in the screen, and they was like, oh, that was so good, and then I was like, no. I was like, okay, I'm listening to you. I'm not listening to the girl who was trying to sell this to me. But yeah, definitely like influences of like your family is a big deal. Because honestly, if it were up to me, I would be walking down there in like a huge red dress. Like that's just who I am. Like I was like, I don't even need a white dress. I don't care. But to please my family, conform.
Okay, so how many of you would say family is an influence? Okay. Any other? Yes, Kristen. Okay, so imagine you are visiting your ideal bridal boutique or bridal store. What are you expecting the experience to be like? So when you walk in the door, what are some specific things that you're expecting?
I don't want a crowded store. Like there's a boutique I walked into, and there were just dresses everywhere, and you're like trying to squeeze through like little racks, and you know that's great that they have a lot of options, but it was a small place, and it wasn't like particularly clean. Like the carpet really stands out to me. It was gross. Like I did not want to walk barefoot in there. They're really nice, but it's like, okay, you need to take care of this a little bit better, and maybe like put some of the dresses back in like storage or something, and like rotate them through, and you know, work on that a little bit. And then, yeah, and these are bathroom, and it was
I swear it was
so gross.
Because you're trying on a big white, well, so most of the time, unless it's red, it's a big white dress, and so it's like, you don't want to get that dirty. And then I feel like when things are nice and bright, like, same with photography, when you brighten something up, it looks better. So when you have like this dingy lighting, it's like, I don't even really feel good in this dress, and it's not even the dress, it's a dirty environment, and it's not good lighting, and it's not flattering you. And I know one of the boutiques, I walked in, and like, it was like this weird little like plywood, I don't know why I've been in there, but I walked in, and I tried that same dress on at another store, and I loved it. But I hated it there because it was just such a dingy, dirty place. So I would agree with the whole carpet thing too.
Yeah,
So gross.
me too. Like, I've been to a couple and the carpet is just gross.
I feel like it was that gross, like dusty, like rose color almost. That was
Yeah.
looked dirty, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
It's
hardwood in
disgusting.
there.
Yeah.
Nice.
We should give you slippers.
I think also like, I think it's nice when they offer like talking and training with them, like try to cater to your needs and like, I don't personally like it when the sales associates are extremely like pushy. Like I said before, like when they it seems like they're just kind of like trying to find compliments to give you, and it's like, really? Like you think I look good at this? I don't know. I don't like that.
Okay.
What? Oh, sorry.
No.
What kind of drinks?
I just mostly drink water.
So water.
Water. Tea? Maybe? Actually, no. I probably wouldn't want to drink tea like while I'm trying on dresses. Like I feel like that's
Okay. So if there was just water, then that was good.
yeah.
Does anybody else have any?
Milkshake. I've been on a diet this whole time. Give me some drink. No, I'm kidding. But I think it's a fine line between like having them be there for you, but also giving you your space
Yeah.
with your family.
Yeah.
Because when my sister said, I tried on a dress that I thought I loved, and I came out and I thought I loved it, and my sister said, you look so gross in that dress. And a part of me is like, I know my sister, and so do I want to hear that? Not really, but I knew she was right once I looked in the mirror, and the sales rep like almost made her leave. And so I'm like, okay, like I get that there are some families that come in and kind of abuse like that whole thing. So I think there's a fine line between them like getting in your personal space. Like if you can see it's affected, like it didn't affect me. I was like, I don't care really. But you're right. So thank you for at least being honest with me. But at the same time, like if I would have said I love this dress and then she would have said that, then I can see where she kind of could step in and be like, you know what, we're not going to have negativity here. So it's like a really fine line, like a really fine balance of being there for the bride, but not like overstepping in. You're not family. Like these are people I grew up with and they know me and I trust their opinion for the most part. So that's kind of what I think is like should be the timeline at least.
I know that like my mom, I would probably want like time alone with her when I'm going, you know, like, yeah, I want you to help me try on the dress, like the person or whatever, and like talk to me about it a little at first, but I want time to like stand there with my family and talk about if this is the one for me. You know, like we're gonna be polite in front of a sales rep, and but when they walk away, I want them to be like, Mom, like this is horrible. So
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like that's something. I mean, the woman that helped me, she was so sweet. Honestly, like you just want to buy every dress that she brings you because she was so sweet. But at the same time, I was like, just stand somewhere away so that I can talk and say, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Like I don't know if this is right, without worrying about making her feel bad. And maybe I just have too much empathy. I don't know. But that's something I ran into. I just wanted to be able to be honest and not have to like worry about offending a sales rep because they're just doing their job, you know, and they are envisioning something without even knowing your wedding, you know. Because she actually like was fully convinced I was gonna buy an Olay Cassini actually. Like I tried it on for fun. Like I was not actually gonna be able to buy it. That's the worst.
And
she thought I was gonna like buy it, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, you're not getting that one?" I was like, "No, no, very no." But anyway, so at least for me, I don't like to be the center of attention all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like I like what you were saying, like come tell me about it, and then you know step away, give me some time where I can just like hash out the details, you know.
Anything else? Next question? Okay. So now describe the actual experience you had when you purchased or planned to purchase your wedding dress.
I went to one store and I tried on a bunch and was just like overwhelmed and I was like, this is not what I was looking for in the first place. I was a little bit annoyed because like, I don't know about you guys, but with all the stores I went to, they get your number, they get all your information, and then they call me like the next day. Hi, what'd you think about that? I'm like, I don't know, like, don't call me right now, like,
If I like it, I'll do that.
yeah,
but-
exactly, I was like,
Yeah.
and then when you say, and then I told this girl, I was like, actually, you know, I found another dress, and she's like, oh, where did you find that? And she literally made me tell her specifically the store where I found the dress that I actually got, and I was so irritated, but this happened to me like 2 or 3 other times with other stores. Like, I guess that's
You
just
take some
something
more,
that
right?
they do,
That's
like,
right.
they call you, and like, because they want to see where their competition is. But, so I found my actual dress at the second store I went to, but I didn't end up buying it there because I wanted to wait until I cleaned it out. And then my mom forced me to go to the third store, and I was like, I do not want to go to the store. It looks really ghetto on the outside. I don't want to go in. But I went in, and I was like, oh, they actually have some cute things in here. So I ended up trying on a bunch of other dresses, and they actually had the same dress that I found at the second store. So that just kind of confirmed it for me, and then I ended up buying it from the third store. That was my story.
Anybody else?
I tried on a bunch of dresses, like probably 6 or so, 7, at one of the boutiques I went to, and they were all bad. Part of it was like me not really knowing exactly what I wanted. Like I had an idea, but then, you know, I tried on some and it was like, oh my goodness, like get me out of this dress, it's bad. And so I was like not feeling good. So I tried on like one dress that looked like semi-okay on me, and so that's why I really liked it, because it was like finally like something that looks decent. And they called me too the next day, and I was like, yeah, sorry, David's Bridal. like, click. But, yeah, so then I went to David's Bridal. Actually, I went to another store. It was so ghetto. It was like, you know, you just buy the dress off the rack type thing, and there's like no option. It was terrible. Anyway, so then I went to David's Bridal, and I tried on a few dresses there. I wasn't super impressed, but we were like more on the right track. And so then I finally tried on one more. I was like, okay, yeah. One thing that irritates me is like the salesperson there with you all the time. And there was this boutique I went to, and like they had curtains for the changing rooms, and she would just like open it like, hello.
I'm in
not.
here, I'm
You're not.
interested.
Yeah. I didn't like that. They were a little weird with that, but
So my experience obviously was a few different boutiques that didn't work out. Then when I went to David's Bridal, obviously the sales reps were good to me, and they actually did give us a fair amount of space. But the truth was, I had like 3 sisters and 1 brother, and so when you have like 7 people there, like including myself, like looking for a dress, and all those different opinions, like I knew they loved me, but it was also a little overwhelming. So, and since I had never even looked at a ball gown in my life, ever. And so when my mom brought that dress to me, I tried it on, and I loved it. Like, I don't know, like I love it, but I'm not sure. Like, this is a lot of pressure coming from you guys. I know you guys all love it, but so I actually, we went up to the counter. I had a mental breakdown because I've never spent that much on an article of clothing in my life, and like that was a little overwhelming to me to see that I'd like go for like $1,000. And so my mom and the sales lady was sitting there like convincing me like, no, it's okay to spend this much money. It's your wedding dress, it's not just a dress. And so they ordered it, and I got my veil and I left there like, what just happened? Like, I just tried on a dress I had never even looked at. I can't go back now. Like, if I do want another dress, it has to be through them, and it was just super scary. So I actually called them up the next day and said, I am freaking out. Like, can I come back by myself and try on the dress again? And so, without anyone knowing, I went back over by myself because I just wanted to like make sure that it was like I'm doing this for me and not to please like 6 other people. And so I went back, I tried it on, cried again. The lady was sitting there like, here we go again. Let me go get your veil, put that in. I'm like, oh my god. And so, but after that, like I left feeling like 1,000 times better. So it is still the right dress, but I feel like, yes, even though your family is there to support you and love you and like point you in the right direction, like I still need to go back and do it for myself without 6 other voices and sales reps and So, it took me a while to like get to that place, but I had to go back alone. But I got the dress.
For me, like, it didn't start out being fun. Like, at first I was just like, I couldn't really breathe very easily. I was just like, what's going on? Like, I'm about to get a wedding dress.
It's
Like,
a
I
huge
just got
commitment.
engaged like a week ago. Like, what's going on? And so it doesn't start out really great because also, like, okay, those stupid little corset, like, strapless bra things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know there's a guy here, sorry, but, like, seriously, I have never felt so fat. Ever. Like, my boobs were just like, I don't know what they were doing. And so I was like, I gotta get this thing off. Once I did that, everything was great.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I feel pretty. I'm okay now, but that was terrible.
Yeah, they like brought one of those and I was like,
Yeah. Say no to the corset. It's not worth it. And so then I like started breathing again. My mom's like in the tiny little room with me. She's like, Megan, it's okay. You're fine. Like, you're good at this. That's what she told me. It was the sweetest thing. She's like, you're doing good. You're good at this. And yeah, you're good at putting on dresses, sweetie. You're okay. And so then I was like, okay, I can do this now. And I came out in the next dress and I was like, okay, we're good. We're good. And yeah, the lady was still just standing there waiting, like not sure what was going on in the little tiny room while we're both in there talking, and I'm like, shh, shh. But anyway,
Oh.
it ended up okay.
I just
Go ahead.
So they like, once I found like the dress, you know, they like rang a bell. I'm so not emotional.
Oh,
my
I
mom is
hate
not emotional. Sorry. I had no
that's
emotional like anything. I was just like, all right, let's do this. Like, let's go buy it. So then they like ring this bell, and I'm just like, why? Why are you doing this? They make me ring it, like, you know. Like,
Yeah, I hate
Yeah, I
that.
have to do that too.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then they started bringing all these like awful barrette clips over. They're like, let's put these in your hair.
Like, girl,
I
you
was
ain't get
like,
those out of my hair.
Hey, I don't like the sparkles. I was like, that's not happening. And like, it was all like the fake flower things and just like really terrible, cheesy like hair pieces. Oh, I hated it. It was gross. 'Cause I didn't want to veil or anything like that. And so they were like, hey, you have to try on it. Throw it up. Have to. Fine. It was bad.
That bell was the worst. It was the worst.
Really?
I hated that.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't. But
I feel like you shouldn't tell anyone they have to do anything.
Right?
Not when you're dress
Do
shopping.
you want to ring a bell? Nope.
No, I don't.
I want to go home and cry for a
Like,
little
I'm
bit
gonna-
and overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Give me a cry room. Like, that's
Have to be on set.
yeah. I didn't know any better at the time.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is the thing. I hate the thing, but this is the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll be
Yeah.
everyone's worst nightmare. I'll be like, no, I'm not.
Oh, do it.
I'm not
Seriously,
doing it.
Just
I
decide
was
what you
super
want.
not happy about it. I like looked at her and I was like,
Yeah.
I do have a quick question. You said something about a veil being really annoying. Like, is it really annoying? Is it
I
better
just
to just not?
didn't
'Cause,
like it.
I haven't really decided.
I had a cathedral bell.
You
So
had a really
it
long
was
one.
like big time long.
Yeah.
Really long. And it was a really windy day, so my husband actually had to like kind of hold on to it like in pictures because it was like pulling and my hair was like all long and curled, so it was already heavy, so it was just like I did a very like traditional wedding, so we were getting married in a little white church like down on Poplar, and so since we were doing more traditional, I just thought like it'd be really pretty to have a long veil. And so I didn't mind it. I love the pictures we got. It was, if it's windy, you'll need help with it. And I'll talk to you later about anchoring that thing into your head, because there actually has to be, I didn't know this, there has to be a braid that they do, a little tiny braid underneath your hair, and they anchor it into the braid or it'll fall out.
That
I
totally
did
makes
not know
sense.
that.
Because mine
I
kept
didn't know
slipping
that.
down like in David's bridal.
Yeah.
It's like it's like
Yeah.
down by my
And
back
I had
now.
like,
I don't know.
I
where
always
it's going.
usually have big backcombed hair, and so I'm like, oh, it won't be a problem, we'll just stick it in. And it kept falling out. I was like, this is going to be a huge problem. And a few ladies I went to go do the braid in my hair, there's only one lady out of all of them that said you have to do, it's called an anchor braid, and it's underneath your hair, and no one can see it, but you anchor it in, then bobby pin it in, and it's just, so make sure if you do that, you have an anchor braid,
Okay. that
or
makes
it will
sense.
fall out.
We're gonna like
I
take
never
notes,
knew.
take all
Yeah,
notes
very
from this.
But it's
Yeah.
taken
Yeah.
away, but
I wasn't as strict. It was more casual. Like, it wasn't super fancy. Shit, I'm sorry. Yeah, it wasn't like super fancy, and like, I don't know. I guess part of it was like I don't feel like old enough to be married, so I was like,
Yeah.
no veil. Like, I don't feel like it just did not make me feel comfortable. And so So I just did like flowers. Plus it's like,
I
it
think I
was,
saw pictures of yours actually.
Yeah.
Emily Poole.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was more of like a,
We've all stalked each other's weddings.
it was more like windy too. Like it was, the dress is.
I think it's really about like, well, I'm working off topic, so I'll shut up. But I think it's really about like your style.
Maybe here all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or actually, I did bridal hair. So I'm a hairstylist for I think a couple years. I'd go to their venues, and it all depends on how you want to wear your hair on your wedding day. If you want it down, the veil's not going to work. So you're gonna have to do something else. But if you want it like half up, a veil would work. Or like up, a veil would work. But if you want like side hair, don't do a veil because you can't see your style.
That's
Your
another thing. It's
pictures.
like my hair was. I wanted
Yeah.
them to be able to see it in the back.
Yeah, so if you want a veil, get one that you can take off and have it without, and make sure your stylist knows that I don't want my veil all day, because what if it is windy and
Yeah.
if it falls out? Yeah, I didn't have one.
Sorry about the sidebar.
We're just excited now.
So how many of you would, or did, or would use veils, you think, out of it?
I'm gonna do it for half.
Yeah. I took it out for the reception.
Yeah, that's
Right?
Yeah, 'cause that would be
Nothing around.
like so long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dancing.
that's the only time you can use it.
This is my veil, baby.
Yeah, you wear it one day, and then you can't wear
Yeah.
it around town. Don't worry about it.
well, not with that attitude at least. Okay, any other last, this is the last question for her.
Yeah. We have one more set. Why?
Yes.
Where'd you see the red dress? I'm thinking of a wedding movie. See that? And she
You
wore-
know, I don't know where I came up with that. That just came up on the top of my head.
There's a movie About Time. It's a
Oh, yeah.
wonderful wedding
Oh,
movie.
I love that. Yeah, maybe that was in my subconscious
Yeah.
mind or something because
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's actually one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, see that? I was wondering if that's where the red dress came from. That
Yeah,
it was
that's
so
so
perfect. We
cute.
watched that movie right before my daughter's wedding, and it has the scene at the end. You know, at the end of the wedding, they come out. She's in this red dress, and it's just totally, different and unique. And they come out, and there's like a hurricane. It's in England, but it's a hurricane. I mean, beyond hurricanes. And it was actually happening. So when they shot it, they just said, keep rolling, and everybody just did the scene as they normally would. I mean, people were slipping and falling. Water was pouring down, and the tent came down and fell down on the cupcakes. People were like covered. I mean, it was a disaster. But what was so perfect was it was so beautiful. Anyway, my daughter was like, all of the stress just went away. She was like, you know what? I'm going to end up married, and it's going to be totally wonderful and fun anyway. And it just took all the stress away. That's a really great movie. Are there any others that you guys have watched or did watch?
I love Bridesmaids. It's funny.
Which one?
Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Bridesmaids?
Bridesmaids.
Yeah, Bridesmaids. Anybody see my, go ahead.
Kate Hudson when they're like best friends and they're
Oh, Bride Wars.
That one's
Bride
so
Wars,
funny.
yeah.
I love that.
blue.
I love that
My
one.
Big Fat Greek wedding.
Yes,
Yes.
that's a classic.
Have you guys seen the new one?
No, not yet.
No.
That was cute.
I named my cat after her. My cat's name is Tula.
I mean, you can show what you really love when you name your cat something. We've learned that together.
Yeah. We named our cats after one.
All right, so we will finish the next set, and then lunch is served. So as soon as we get through Melanie's set, and then we will take a couple of minutes for our note takers to just ask follow-up questions. But we'll try to do that later.
Did you want to introduce ourselves?
Oh yes, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
me too.
start with you, because I know who you all are. Yeah.
I'm Nicole Fisher. Legally, I'm Nicole Mack.
I
Married.
was gonna say.
What do you want?
Well, where are you from?
Oh,
and-
I'm from Reno area, Carson City, Nevada, same area. Moving to Loma Linda this summer. Go to school. My husband's gonna go to medical school. I'm gonna go to hygiene school. It's gonna be a good
Are you
time.
really?
I know. Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, Loma Linda?
Yeah.
Really?
Next year.
For the BS program or the AS?
The BS. well, she's not married. Taylor.
Taylor Larson?
Yeah, she's gonna be there too. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait, so
yay.
you're like starting in the fall?
Yeah.
That was a great
Nice.
idea.
So I'm
So I know her as my son's art teacher.
Yeah.
That he dearly loves, and he actually got himself dressed up and went to your wedding.
Yeah, he
which
helped
was
serve.
something for him.
Oh my word, he helps so much. He's so great. I love Emily Beth too. So I'm originally Chloe Johnson. I went to school with John Mack. He was my son in high school.
Like a family?
Yeah, like not really, but
project thing?
not really. He just wanted to be my kid for some reason on band tours. I don't know.
Okay.
But John Mack was awesome. Anyways, connected now. So now I'm Chloe Congleton. Trevor works here at the university, and I now live in the one place in the whole world I never wanted to live, all for love. But it's grown on me. It's a good place. There I lived in College Place.
Where are you from, Megan?
I lived in Spokane for 11 years, and before that in Alaska.
Oh,
Done.
Love the diversity.
Yeah, I know, right? Drop that mic.
I'm Emma Bursky. Now I'm Emma Hare, and I'm hairstylist. So it works out. I'm living here, and I've been married for a little over a year. Good, it's worth it. Enjoy it.
I'm Alyssa Hartwick. I'm from Sacramento, and I'm also going to Deadline School. The excitement, and I don't know what else to say.
I'm Megan Strobel, and I'm from Maple Valley, which no one knows where that is. It's in Washington, though, like 45 minutes down from Seattle. And then Caleb and I will be living here, actually, for like, we don't know how long, but we're coming here.
Well, I'll be on there.
Yeah. Again, I never thought I would live here, but there you go.
Walla is the black hole.
Yeah,
You
it
get
is.
sucked in and you never get out of it.
I'm Caitlin Hensley. I will be Caitlin Randolph, but I just graduated from WCU and moved here and like got engaged like the day after I graduated, so it's been a big week getting home. And I know Riley. I work at Dutch Bros, and so
What do you do?
I'm that girl.
Oh my word.
And so I worked at the Dutch Bros in Moscow when I was going to school, and then transferred to this one, and I just started. I had like 2 training days and stuff, but I've grown up here and moved back, and I love it here. I don't think it's a black hole. I
Dutch
love
Bros
it here.
has a good reputation on this campus for great customer service.
Yeah, I love it, and I didn't think I would stick with it as long as, I've only been there 6 months, and I'm like, I would work there forever. Yeah. Free coffee.
Alright.
Okay, so for our next set of questions, the first one is, if possible, would you prefer to buy your dress locally? Yes, no, or does it matter?
Definitely local. It's like, I bought mine at Reno. So I bought it there. They had it shipped. And then Christmas break, I got it altered like a couple times, and then everything was done, and I didn't see it again for a long time. And it was like a hassle trying to like transport it and like figure out how I was gonna get it back. It's like I got married in Yakima, so local is way better. Yeah,
I would love if it was local because even though Tri-City's only like 45 minutes away, like they said my dress was in, and I drove over there, and it was just my veil, and I was super bummed about it.
Oh.
And so then I got really upset, and yeah, long story. But I would have it, if it was here, it'd been a lot easier to be like, oh, that's okay, it only took me 5 minutes to get here instead of like 45 minutes, and made my parents drive 2 hours, so yeah, I think local is better if you have the option. It's one less stress.
Yeah. I agree with that. My dress is like 4.5 hours away from me right now, and I don't know, I would prefer it to just be here, because then even though I'm getting married over there, it would still
it'll be easier right now because I'm like trying to graduate and then like trying to find time to go back on the weekends to take care of dress stuff. It's just like I don't have time for this. I need to do something else. Except I want to. Because it's a pretty dress. So. Priorities are becoming an issue.
So how many prefer local?
Everybody.
How many people have local?
Technically it's local.
I guess
because
I'm
I'm getting married, so
Oh, mine.
Oh.
like,
Oh yeah.
because I'm getting married in Texas, so it makes sense. So it kind of went local.
Yeah, local to you.
But if I was getting married here, then I'm sure.
Okay. So the next question is, what information would you expect to see on a bridal store or the boutique website?
Their hours, so important. I want to like try to figure out, stop by like a million times, understand when you're there.
See, and that was the other thing too, because I went to Man's House of Brides, and I actually could have gone in on a Wednesday, but they were closed on Wednesday, or it's like
They have
Wednesday
odd
or
hours.
Tuesday. They have really odd hours, and I actually probably, after seeing that dress, they had one similar to the one I got. I probably would have bought it there because it's local and it's easier, and I needed a dress like soon at that point, and so I didn't know their hours, and then when I did, it was just kind of like I didn't know how to get a hold of them, and then when I finally did, they were booked out, and so I think it'd be good maybe to have like maybe a calendar where it shows if they're booked, because since they're smaller, like at least for this shop, since they were smaller, and you only want like 3 or 4 brides a day or whatever, it can be like 2 places left or 3 openings left or whatever. So that way, instead of harassing you about the hours, like I can go on and be like, awesome, they are free Tuesday, send them an email or call them, leave them a message, and say, hey, can I have that last appointment?
That's a really good idea.
It'd be cool if they could like book online too.
Yeah.
Like hair salons are starting to do that.
So you
Yeah.
could just
Online,
say,
I love
okay,
that.
yeah, spot's available, I want that spot.
Yeah. You can look at all your options instead of trying to like bargain with them first.
Seriously,
That's
yeah.
what it feels like.
Yeah.
Also like good filters, like if you're just wanting to browse online, just being able to say this, go. Because some shops are like, they're impossible to
You have
like
to-
dig through
Yeah, you have to look
information.
at
Every single dress and you're like, I don't even want half of these.
Yeah.
So,
By designer or by price.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Because it's like, if I knew that the local place had the same dress that Tri-Cities had, I would totally, even if it was a little bit more money, I would totally get it from them just because they're local. So,
I feel like though a lot of the smaller boutique websites, they don't have the option to like browse their actual selection, like 'cause you can't order them.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think at least like seeing what they carry, like in samples and stuff. I don't know if that'd be a good idea if they showed absolutely everything, because then people just look at it and be like, oh, like, you know.
yeah.
Whereas if you actually go in, it's totally different when you see it in person and totally different when you see it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I don't
But
Yeah.
pictures is like, yeah, a little bit would be.
yeah, like a few like examples.
Yeah.
You know,
Or heck, just like,
so.
if, taking pictures of inside the shop, because a lot of those boutiques I went to, if I would have seen pictures inside the shop, and maybe that's why they don't do it, but if I would have seen a really cute boutique that was just, even if it was smaller and even a little crowded, but if it had a beautiful place to try on your dress, and it had like one cute piece of furniture, or you know, something that makes it look like homey and like private but clean. Like sometimes I wouldn't even care at that point if they showed me all the dresses, as long as there was like a few pictures of like the inside and like what I could expect, like, oh,
Yeah.
there's only like one rack of wedding dresses, or is one whole section devoted to wedding dresses, because that would be exciting to go in and start trying them on. So even like what you said, not having all of them posted, but give you an idea of like the environment, if you have a beautiful environment to like really showcase that.
Yeah. If you don't want to put your pictures online, like of your shop, you probably should like work on the carpet.
Does the appearance of website matter to you?
Yes.
Like if you see it like, oh, that's kind of tacky, I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, if it's like
Yeah.
a cluttered website that's like kind of cheesy,
There's
not well
something-
organized, then it's like, why would I go into your shop and do it the same way? Probably.
If something's blinking at you on the website.
Or a thing
Walk
that starts
away.
Playing.
Yeah, or like advertising, you know, just like
Yeah.
clutter better to have like simple, like well done, maybe not as much like information or pictures, but it's clean. You're gonna be like, oh, I automatically have a good feeling towards this, like
Yeah.
teacher or
And-
or whatever.
Yeah.
I've tried really hard to like look past bad websites because I get that. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to go there. Like I don't even want to try. But like if it's local, I'll look at it really hard and I'll be like, don't pay attention to the Comic Sans. Just like that dress. Like how does that look? Or something like
Yeah.
that, for example. And then if it's close by, I might like do a drive by, and like see what it looks like from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's far away or like in Tri-Cities or even something like that, like I'm not gonna try to go.
See, and that's the other thing too, because I drove by Mammoth House of Brides. It looked freaky as ever to me. I was like, I ain't going in there. Mannequins are freaky. They're in the window. It brings me out. And so
Yeah.
I feel like just like there's a few simple things you can update and make pretty and have it. But once I went in there, I went in there to buy a dress for like an event I was throwing. And the whole upstairs is like this really nice changing room. And they have like this rack up there. I'm like, oh my word, you have a whole huge room with a couch in there. I was like, it's a little dated, but they're remodeling it right now. And it's just like, I would have totally loved that. I get to have my mom, my sister's up there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know because a lot of it, I was turned off by the outside of it. Sketchy.
I think like with the website, if it looks outdated, I'm gonna think that they're
Sure, that'd be-
hard to deal with because they're more outdated. Like technology is wonderful and updating things is wonderful. Even if we want to fight it, like we have to move forward.
Yeah, and I just took a business class, and they were talking about how just a simple thing of making your website like clean
Yeah.
and something where it's just like easy, like big bright picture, information, call. Like just that simple thing of making it look bright and clean. Like at least will be like, oh, they look like they know what they're doing, and it'll give them more of a chance to like go to the store instead of having to be like, just look past the website. Which is, sometimes you find good stuff, but they don't know how to build a website. They know how to run a good store. So
Yeah.
anyway.
So our next question is, does it matter to you whether you have the opportunity to try on a dress in private or in public? And would you prefer to try it in private?
What do you mean by
Like
private?
changing.
Like,
Like in
Like a
Jacob's Bridal, they
private-
have like this whole line where you can have like 5 brides all at the same
It's
time
like
coming
an
out of their
assembly
doors,
line.
Yeah.
rather than like a private room. Is that what you mean?
yeah.
Oh, like showing their
Private, yeah.
family in private.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to one of the boutiques and there was like one other person, but like they were kind of in a corner and like we were kind of in like another corner and it felt like separate because they were very much doing their own thing, being helped by their own lady. And it was like my mom and I, but if there was another bride in there, it would have been so crowded. So like,
I feel like my family would get distracted. Be like, you look beautiful. To someone else and be like, focus.
That happened to me. Like, I opened the door. There was some other family here. My people were all the way down the other end. I don't know what happened, but I opened the door and they like are all looking at me. They're like, "Oh, we love that dress." I'm like, "Who are you? Where did you come from? Like, you didn't come with me. I don't remember."
Like I don't think it would ruin the experience, but it would just be nice to not have distractions.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's already such a big day, like emotional, and
Yeah.
you got all these people that want to see it and stuff. It just would simplify things.
Okay, so that kind of leads into our next question. Like, if you had the opportunity to schedule a private appointment, would you take advantage of that opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. For sure.
And that was the nice thing is when I went to go get the other dress at the Man's House of Brides, I know I'm talking about them, but it's just interesting to me because she doesn't she only books one at a time, and I love the fact that like, since I was the only one in there, they only have one changing room, I know that I can go down, like I was in one of the dresses and I walked back down to like look through the racks to look one more time, and then I went back up and I felt like she cared about my experience there, even though I was just looking for like an event dress. And so knowing that like I kind of had free reign of like a boutique like that, and that she was just like taking care of me and not like 5 other people, I think that's really, I would have loved that when I was looking at wedding dresses. So.
So how many of you, all you wanted to to have a private appointment if you had the opportunity? Like, raise your hand. Does it cost you money? Or
No, I said, does it cost more money?
oh, does it cost more money?
Than non, but
If
sure.
yeah, if it did
free,
cost
sure.
more money, would you do it?
Well, how much?
We're in a budget here, okay?
We're planning wedding.
The less I spend on the appointment, the more I have for the dress, right?
Yeah.
I don't
If
know.
it wasn't more money, I would totally take obviously a private appointment over that.
Yeah.
But if it costs like an extra $100, like she said, I'd rather put that towards the dress than a private appointment.
I think it would make me more excited about the place, and it would make me want to go there and recommend it to people. I think like that would give them better customer reviews. I'd be like, yeah, like go to them. They let you hang out with your friends alone in there, you know. And
If it were complimentary or if it had like an extra.
if it was, I think either way, but I would be more excited about it if it was complimentary. And I think that overall would boost like sales if you're working with people in that kind of a way.
And word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think too, like my husband calls me an emotional buyer. So it's like if I feel like someone's like taking care of me, like I'm gonna spend more money just because I like
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
So
I will
I
like
feel
you.
like you're taking care of me. So
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
I feel you on that, actually.
Yeah.
If you could describe the kind of bride you are with one word, what would that be?
Low maintenance?
Sorry,
that was really awkward. Low
Low
maintenance.
Low maintenance.
Very low maintenance, yeah. Am I low maintenance? Yeah.
She's like, no.
Yeah.
That was not you.
It doesn't be any kind of words that come to mind. Low maintenance, your style, anything like that.
I would say I'm untraditional, but very visionary at the same time.
Untraditional
Over organized.
That's good for planning.
I think I was too trusting. I turned out really well, but like I had 2 wedding planners and I did not decorate. I didn't buy anything. I didn't do one stitch of work at all. And so I walked into the venue like, what is it gonna look like?
Oh my word, I would have panic attack.
Yeah, I could not do that.
No, it was great. Like I mean, I picked out things like we corresponded and stuff, but I was like, yeah, I really like this garland. Like these are the ideas for bouquets. Don't really care how they turn out. Just like make them look like this and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, like when she handed me the bouquet, like that was the first time I saw the bouquet, and like I had an idea of what it would be like,
Yeah.
but I didn't actually know. Like I probably would have done the centerpiece a little bit different.
We're not twins anymore, I'm sorry.
No.
That would kill me.
I-
Oh, it was so great because I was taking like 20 credits and like
Oh,
doing
yeah.
all this stuff, so I was like, I can't do it. Like, I really didn't care how it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Cause, like, I was gonna get married. Again, like
Yeah.
really low maintenance, but I mean, if I like actually sat down and thought about it, it's like I don't actually know how it's gonna turn out. I probably would have had 10.
I'd probably say like, this is more than one word, but freakish perfectionist of everything. Which I probably should have been way more that way. But I mean, up to like, I went to the warehouse and like put flowers together and like made all the bouquets like the way I wanted them
Yeah.
with the florist because it was like just that way. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do it. But
I think I would describe myself as like thoughtful, but to a fault almost, because like I think so much about everything, and it gets way more complicated than it needs to be. Like I want to be low maintenance, and at some point I reach the point where I'm like, I don't care. Like I'm gonna stand up there, I'm gonna marry him.
Yeah.
Like let's
Yeah.
move on. But at the same time, I really care about like how other people are gonna feel when they're there. I want them to enjoy it. I want them to be comfortable, and then I want all these different things to be perfect. But then I also don't have time to make it perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a little bit overthinking, I guess.
I think at the beginning, it's totally what I call is like the Pinterest phase. And so you're like, it's all about, oh, look at this and this. My parents started us out with $5,000, and then I realized after we bought the dress and the venue, like I had no more money. So then there's a panic attack, and then it grew to like $10,000. Anyway, but I think there's like the Pinterest phase, and then it goes into like you start spending money and reality hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next phase is like, who are we actually doing this for? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to marry you. We can get married anywhere. At this point, yes, it's going to be beautiful. Also, it's like, we both agreed we're really doing this for our families, because we'd be fine, like, going to a beautiful place and saying our vows to each other and, like, having a nice vacation, but both sets of parents would have freaked out. Our family and friends that have loved us and, like, gone through all of our ups and downs, like, wanted to be there with us. So I feel like that last month is just like, I had like 6 do-it-yourself things. I'm like, nope. Like, I have 3 jobs, planning a wedding, trying to move stuff into the house, like, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So there's stuff that's like, do I need, like, to make a door that's up front with, like, flowers on stuff? That would be beautiful, but I really don't need it. And so I feel like you start in your Pinterest phase, at least for me, you start in that phase where it's like, this is going to be beautiful, I can do half the budget, I can do all myself, and then you get there, it's like, at least I have one dress.
That's what I say to Caleb a lot whenever we're talking about things and we're both just like, ugh, wedding. That's like our mood most of the time. And I'm just like, you know, Caleb, I'd marry you tomorrow. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, let's move on. Like, what's the thing we like best, and like, who cares what everyone else
I
thinks
feel
about
like
it?
what you have to do is just pick the things that matter to you the most, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 things, and then just let everything else go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were like talking about doing a cool guest book, you know, like the thumbprint ones, or like, you know, some cool signing, and we're like, wait, do we really want to lug this around to every single house we own? No. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I want a guest book that I can throw on a shelf and never look at again.
Dude, we were looking for a guest book, and we emailed these people who's, it's like Baron Fig, I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but they make like tiny journals, and of course they're not guest books at all, but we're like, hey, it's small. So we emailed them, we're like, hey, do you do like personalized monogram, whatever? And they're like, no, we don't, but here's $50 because it's for your wedding, and we can't do that for you. So we got a free gift card for $50 for those nice journals.
Holla.
Look at you. I'm just saying, never hurts to ask. Just like.
Yeah.
So if you could describe your personal dress style in one word, what would that be? Like, what did you lean towards when you were buying a dress or looking for a dress?
I don't know.
Like,
Flatters your features that you, like, are proud of. That's something that makes you feel, like, beautiful and, like, it has to fit your body.
Like bohemian or elegant or
classic, vintage,
Kind of vintage. It was
the color and the light.
simple.
Was it like rustic? Was it?
I just say traditional.
I like something I'm probably going for is more like romantic, kind of classic, but a little rustic.
What was it?
Vintage or rustic.
Okay.
Romantic.
Yours was a little bit more, I feel like it was vintage.
Yeah. I wasn't going because it wasn't. It's
Like,
super
at least the
like
dress
that,
was,
yeah.
like, super classy vintage. I'm not totally-
Yeah, but
It's not like
but
I-
it was in like a rustic. It was like a.
It just had so many dimensions.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a plain white.
It was not. That is a fact. I don't know. Like a rustic vintage thing. Yeah. Sure. Say that. What is that kind of like?
Okay, so for the last part, we're going to show you.
We're not, actually, we did this instead, I gave them detailed survey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then that's it. Thank you for answering all these questions and for these good responses.
So line in between, like, having, like, maybe a little section where you can pick out your suits. Like, if they're sitting there trying it on, like, I feel like that should be a separate thing.
Yeah.
But a part of me is like, if you wouldn't go get your hair cut, like, at Fred Meyer's, you know? Like, you have to. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. What I'm saying is just, like, if you have, like, 5 different things you're doing, like, what are you good at?
Yeah.
Are you just, like, in the middle ground for everything?
Yeah.
Like, if I want to go get my hair cut, I'm not going to go into a salon that does
Dog
fingers
hair?
and toes and manicures, pedicures, excuse me.
Yes, we just raised the question, what about flowers?
Oh no, don't.
You're trying.
If you
Pick
have
your battle.
recommendations there, like people you
That'd be
work
cute.
with, like
Yeah.
why not? You know, have like even a nice little flower thing and with a little sign like
That'd be nice.
go here, like they do this.
I didn't even want to.
Or have like a
But
little
don't.
portfolio for like flowers and stuff, because I think it's nice to have those options.
Yeah.
But I think when you're looking at for wedding dresses, like usually brides want to feel special and like taken care of. And if you have like 20 other people in there doing flowers and prom and suits, it's kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
One-stop shop.
It would be kind of uncomfortable almost to have a bunch of guys in there trying on suits because it's like, hey, like, don't be looking over here. Like, I'm getting married. You can't have this. Like, somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but like some of those dresses, you don't know how they're gonna look. And like at David's Bridal, they do not have mirrors inside the little changing rooms.
You
So
have to
you
go
have
out.
to walk out and look, and like you don't know where things are sitting and how things are. You know, you don't know
It's
until
a
you look in the mirror.
little like revealing.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I didn't like it one
Yeah.
bit.
That was
And I think that's why it comes down to like boutiques, like that's why you have your calendar, that's why it's booked out. Like if you're going to have a group of guys go in there with trying on all their wedding stuff, like suits and all that stuff, then book it out for those guys, like, or at least that section, so you don't have them overlapping.
Yeah.
Like if you have to have two in there, make sure it's 2 weddings, or like 2 brides, or 2 different grooms, or I don't know.
Very helpful. Very helpful.
What if the boutique actually had flowers being a part of, like they were sharing part of their space with a florist? Would that like be problematic to you?
I don't know how that would go together super well. Like I didn't use a florist. I had my wedding planner do all of it. So I didn't even want to tackle that.
So in other words, having that as an associated service does not.
I would just stress me out more.
No.
I think like I think at least from my brain, when I was in dress mode, I was in dress mode. When I'm in flower mode, I'm in flower mode. Like to overlap those, it's already so overwhelming to do just one of those things, and you have your budget set for that. So then you're like, this is my budget. Now I'm dealing with 2 different budgets, 2 different things. Like flowers are totally different thing than just finding a dress. Like
Yeah, it raises stress level.
it just higher stress level, and then usually when you're that stressed, you leave without anything because you're just like done.
Like if someone wants to surround me with beautiful flowers while I try on a dress, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, like I won't say no to that.
I don't even think that would work either because of the timelines. Like
Yeah.
normally you get your dress like pretty far in advance from the actual wedding, and then the flowers is something you do closer to the wedding. So I don't know how that would work. Cause when I'm thinking about doing my dress, like for me it was like practically 7 months before the wedding. I'm not thinking of flowers right now. That's not even on my mind.
Now, if I knew there wasn't a vendor in town that did flowers, well, there is one, and they're extremely expensive. It's like going to be $5,000 for just my bridal bouquets. But if I went there to look at dresses and I saw that they did, I'd get a discount for flowers and a discount for suits. And they said, hey, by the way, just putting this in your bag with you, like, here's a discount for flower arrangement, here's a discount for the guy's suits. When you get to that place, let us know, we'd love to help you out. Like, okay, thank you for realizing I'm stressed out and I don't want to go down that road right now. Because the guys don't even care about their stuff until like a month out. And so I think if you get like a discount to do the rest of those things with them, and they would set up a meeting for just those things like separately, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to be in that mindset, like this is what I'm dealing with now.
Well, this has been fantastic information. It's given us it's confirmed some of our hunches, but it's also given us some new things to think about, which is great. That's what's so great about focus groups. So food is ready without any further. It's from Grace.
Grace, other than Dutch Bros.